I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. We spend much of the day bracing for the arrival of severe storms, including heavy downpours and the possibility of high winds that could produce damage and power outages in the region. Town of Wallkill Public Works Commissioner John Lippert was among those keeping an eye on the weather forecast and the projected storm activity. He says today was a day to prepare crews for potential trouble late today and tonight.
The guys are ready and available, and if we have to call them back in, we establish the ready list. And at that point, we are fueling up trucks before we go home today. We make sure the chainsaws are accessible, and with a heavy rain and not so much wind in the forecast, we want to make sure our vacuum equipment, in case we get flooded drains and sewer jets, are ready to go.
At 1 this afternoon, Governor Andrew Cuomo activated the state's Emergency Operations Center as a precaution. Now keep checking back here at Record Online for the latest weather information. Funeral services were held at King of Kings Lutheran Church in New Windsor earlier today for Alexis Harris, the 20-year-old town resident who was killed last Saturday night in what police described as a case of domestic homicide. Family and friends gathered to mourn the loss of a young woman who grew up in New Windsor, attended Newburgh Free Academy, and had worked at Woodbury Common. Her body had been found inside a residence on West Street in Newburgh that her boyfriend, Yannick Avina Z, had been sharing with his mother. Avina C later surrendered to Town of Newburgh police and has since been charged with second-degree murder and is currently in Orange County Jail. An official cause of death has not been released, but law enforcement sources say Harris was apparently beaten to death. Fire investigators are looking to determine the cause of a noontime two-alarm blaze that badly damaged the interior of a residence at 2206 Route 17K in the town of Montgomery. Firemen from Bullville, Montgomery, Circleville, and vicinity responded to a blaze that may have begun in the attic and spread from there. Richard Cooper rents out the house and was in his paving business office next door when the fire broke out. His concern was for his tenants.
At the house, I see the puff of smoke come out, and I ran over by the house, and the lady was just either coming out or going in the front door. When she opened the door, I guess that's what made the puff. And I was a little afraid because she didn't have the baby with her. She has a baby. Called 911, and they got here pretty quick. Very good response. Again, don't care about the house. Thank God nobody was hurt.
There was an initial report that a firefighter may have been injured. Officials will be looking for the possible cause as well as the fire's point of origin. Elsewhere, an investigation is underway to determine the cause of an early morning fire that destroyed a two-family bungalow in Monticello. The fire broke out shortly after 4 a.m. at the Clearwater Bungalow Colony off Old Liberty Road. Members of 5 fire departments from Monticello and the area were called to the scene and kept the blaze from spreading to any other buildings. Fire Chief Mark Friedland said members of 2 families were impacted. There were no injuries reported. In Orange County, grand juries handed up an indictment in the case of a Bronx man who sexually assaulted a woman in his car in Newburgh, then led police on a chase that ended on the Tappan Zee Bridge. 22-year-old Jamal Lincoln was indicted on a first-degree rape charge in connection with the July 3rd incident. Police say Lincoln raped the woman in the area of William Street in Newburgh, and when officers approached him in his unoccupied car, he hopped in and sped off, leading police on a high-speed chase through a city work zone, then onto Route 9W, Palisades Parkway, and ultimately the Thruway. The chase ended when traffic backed up on the bridge. He walked into the K jewelry store in the Newburgh Mall Wednesday afternoon and asked to see a bridal jewelry set. An employee took the 2-piece diamond engagement wedding jewelry set out of the display case and handed it to him, at which point the man ran out of the store. Town of Newburgh police say the jewelry set was valued at $5,000. Investigators were chasing down leads in an attempt to find the suspect and the stolen jewelry. Could be an offer some Ulster County employees may choose not to refuse. County Executive Michael Hine is floating a plan that offers buyouts to 232 eligible county workers who were hired prior to 1994 as a way to reduce the county's workforce and reduce payroll and benefits expenses. As part of the proposed separation agreement, workers would get a one-time payment of $12,500. Past buyouts have seen a 10% participation rate. The proposal will need the approval of the Ulster County Legislature. And here was the scenario. A new virus has started to infect human beings. Those exposed have become incapable of rational thought. They're turned into aggressive attackers whose bites turn their victims into zombies. Several infected individuals are loose, and they need to be secured so they can be treated. Well, that was what was happening earlier today at Circleville Middle School during an exercise called Trauma Day, an exciting end to the 4-week-long medical academy, one of the many summer educational programs offered at Pine Bush High School. This was Trauma Management Day, and the zombie apocalypse medical drill included a heavy dose of hands-on learning of emergency techniques, with students mixing learning in with some fun, as Academy students were instructed on proper care and triage procedures that are followed in a real emergency. The Pine Bush School District conducts the Summer Academy program to give their students the opportunity to learn more about a variety of possible career paths. We will remain under the threat of more thunderstorms over the next 48 hours. Friday will be partly sunny and humid, with a chance of more thunderstorm activity late in the day tomorrow. The highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. Saturday will be partly sunny with a passing thunderstorm or two. The highs will be up around 85 degrees. Keep checking back here at Record Online for the latest storm information, as well as breaking news, and read all the stories and features important to you in tomorrow's edition of the Times-Herald Record. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.